Okay, good morning. As we go to the chitas of today, we're holding in the portion of Vayakhel, which is in chapter 35 of the book of Shemais. So we're continuing the actual putting together of the Mishkan. Vayakhel Pekude is a repetition, or actually a petition, but it's actually the concept of actual doing the avodah, doing the service, putting together this beautiful Mishkan. So the verse says, verse 21, so every man whose heart was uplifted came. Everyone whose spirit inspired him through his generosity. Evias through us Hashem brought the offering to God, which was for the service of the Beis Hamikdash, and to all its work, and also for the garments that we use for the Kehanim to wear. The men came with the women. All the generous-hearted people. They brought bracelets, and nezem, and earrings, tabath, and rings, chumos, and buckles, kol klis of any kind of golden object. V'chol ish ashehenet tnufa, and every man that was waving gold, zav of gold, Hashem to God. So now she says, Al Hanoshim. What does that mean? With the woman. Julie was still on the women. The men came with the women and stood near them. The reason the Targum Onkelos left the passage in a simple sense is that he does not render Hanoshim, Vayovi Hanoshim, Gavra, that means and men came, but he renders a Masian, and the men brought, meaning they brought bracelets and earring while it was still being worn by the women. As Rashi writes, spun gold here, which signifies the woman spun the gold here while they were so excited to come. The women were so excited to be part of the building of the Mishkan. They came while they were still wearing their golden bracelets. They came running to the Beis Hamikdash, to Moses, to Bezalel. They came running while it was still actually the women brought, certain commentators, but Yovei Al Hanoshim, that the women brought more than the men brought to the building of the Mishkan. The bracelets, the golden ornaments placed on the arm. Hamas Klizov is golden ornaments placed on a woman's private parts. Our rabbis explained that the word Hamas means zima, meaning it's a place of leanness. And that's exactly what that means. So to every man whom has found blue, Bargama, purple, the Selah, Shani, and crimson wool, the Sheish, and linen, the Izim, Oides, and goat's hair, Maldomim. I'm saying, Izim, Oides, Elim, Maldomim, Oides, Choshim, and Choshim skins. They brought all this to the Beis Hamikdash, all this to Bezalel. So Rashi's v'chala shalunsi. You take tcheles about wool, blue wool, or purple wool, or crimson wool, or ram skin, tchashim. Everybody bought whatever they had. Kol meidim terumas kesu and acheshes. Everyone was set aside an offering of silver and copper. Brought the offering to God. Whoever had the acacia wood, right? Because we learned the Rashi before. And Yaakov Avinu told the Jewish people to take these. He planted these cedars in Mitzrayim, and he told them to take a look. So some people took these things. So whoever had it brought it to the service. And every wise woman, every wise-hearted woman, with her hands She wove Be'avir Matvei, and they brought the spun material, Vasatcheles, Vasagoma, Tlashani, all the purple and crimson wool, Vasashesh, and all the linen, Cholan, Noshim, and all the women. Shenos, Liban, Aisan, Bechachma. The heart was uplifted them with wisdom. Tovu, Seizim, they spun the hair. So now she says the spunning of the hair, this constitutes a superior skill. But the woman spun it while it was still in the back of the goats. This is the whole Gemara in Masechta Shabbos, why they did it that way. Verse 27. And the princes, the princes, every tribe had a nasi. The princes brought the stones of filling. Avnei Maluyim and the stones of the ephod, the Choshen for the Nasiim brought the 16 stones, 14 stones. Rashi says, Omer Abnosan, Maro, why did the princes, why did the princes see to donate the dedication of the altar first, before the rest of the Jews? In contrast, they did not donate first for the work of the Mishkan. Why? When it came to the sacrificial offering, they were the first one to bring the sacrifice. But now over here, the Torah flips it. The Jewish people brought all first, and then suddenly these 12, 13 great leaders of the Jewish people woke up to give the stones. Rashi says, this is what the princes said: let the community donate what they will donate, and whatever is missing, meaning whatever is left to be donated, we'll complete it. The problem was, what happened was, everybody brought enough. There was more than enough to need. So suddenly they had nothing to give. What happened was that since the community completed everything as it says, and the work was sufficient, the princess says, what are we going to do? So they brought the Sholem stones. So now they realized their mistake. The mistake was that they said, let other people bring. We'll bring what is left over. But they should have not done that. Just like everybody came, rich or poor, gave whatever they could give. So to the Nasiim, these princes should have given right away whatever they could have given. And that's why the second the Beis Hamikdash was dedicated. Now, who was going to give the first korbanos, the first sacrificial offerings to the Beis Hamikdash? The Nasiim made sure to jump forward and give each Nasi gave a sacrifice, as we'll learn in the book of Bamidbar. So that's what happened. So they did not immediately donate after a letter is missing from their name. Hanasim is missing. You see, look at the word Hanasim is missing a yud in their name. Hanasim is written with later on numbers is written with the extra yud. So there they did the right thing. Over here in this week's parsha, they didn't do the right thing. They came late. They thought they will fill in what was needed, and it was not. And if nothing was needed. Besides these stones, the spices of oil for lighting and anointing oil for incense. Kol ish ve'isha, every man and woman, ashenod v'liba, who inspired, with their heart inspired. This is I love this word, nidvas leiv. When a person gives, he should give from the inspired heart. He shouldn't give because somebody's forcing him to give, or he feels pressure to give. No, everybody should give nidvas leiv. He should give. Davar should be from his heart. His charitable contribution should be from his heart. Nidvas leiv. So they brought, everybody gave for the desire of the heart to bring to the service of the Beis Hamikdash, which God commanded in the hands of Moshe. This was the first capital campaign, which was successful in history that they had, as the Torah is going to soon say, that Moshe Rabbeinu had to tell the Jews, stop giving. You gave more than is needed. We have too much. I think this is the first time in history. It never happened again. Okay, that completes the Chumash of the day. We now go to the Tanya of the day. We are in the middle of chapter 30 of Tanya. Alter Rebbe, as we continue, Alter Rebbe is explaining that we all need to have Avodas Hashem, that nobody is, so to say, complete in everything that he does, and especially we're talking here about a Beinoni. So every person needs to look into, as the Alter Rebbe said in the previous chapter, every person needs to be a Marad de Chushbana. Every person needs to be an accountant of himself. And he has to look into himself and realize what he can change and what he can do better. Even the category of turning away from evil, every thinking man can discover, even though you're not doing any evil, everybody is doing what it's supposed to do, especially everybody over here is doing what it's supposed to do. But he can look into himself, he can realize, the verse says, Surmera, go away from evil, say to even do good. So what means going away from evil? What means going away from evil? Just I don't do any evil. Or Surmera means I have to take away evil from my existence. I have to ultimately abhor evil. I have to get sickening from evil. So does every person have that level? Totally away from evil. Alter Rebbe it doesn't have it in English. You have the three expressions in the grace after meals, the three expressions of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Bakel, Mikol, Ko. Within the expressions, I have everything. Do you get rid of everything in every level of evil? Have you eradicated every concept within you that you don't have in your cresses of your emotions and your desires? You don't have any desire for evil. Are we serious? Anybody can say that. So it's in a situation requires a battle of the level of the magnitude tribe above to be able to eradicate evil from oneself. That he doesn't have it even the back of his mind. He doesn't even have the potential of evil. That requires for Beinoni a great battle. And meaning a battle requires or even a situation requires a battle of lesser magnitude. For example, the Alter Rebbe said, he may find he does not summon up the strength to stop in the middle of a pleasant gossip. Or middle of relating a tale, discrediting his fellow. He doesn't find himself, fighting with it. Oh, should I say it? Shouldn't I say it? Oh, let me just say it. Even it's not such a great disgrace, a slight slur. Even though it's true. His purpose in relating is to exonerate himself. The Alter Rebbe gives an analogy of what happened in the Gemara. Abshim said to his father, Rabbeinu HaKodesh, the one who wrote the Mishnah, Lav Hanok Siva, was a question. His father said to him, who wrote, was about a get, about a bill of divorce. So his father, Rabbi Yehuda, turned to Rav Shimon. His son, he said, who wrote this get? I see this get that you've given me. It's like problems with it. So who wrote this get? So he said, I didn't write Lavanok Siva. I didn't write it. Eli Yehuda Chaitik Siva. The one who wrote it was Yehuda the tailor. So he said it in an expression. Oh, what do you expect from the tailor? Yehuda the tailor. I mean, the guy said and wrote a get. How does Yehuda the tailor know how to write a get? So this was a minor slur to Yehuda the tailor. He said, in essence, Yehuda is a shoemaker. The guy's a shoemaker. He's not a Rav. Not a rabbi. It's what do you expect from him? He's a shoemaker. That's expression that, yeah, you're a shoemaker. It was always it was an expression of slur to somebody. So Amalei. So Rabbi Yehuda, his father said to him, Klach mi lashon hara. Keep away from slander. Why are you slandering the Huda, the tailor? Why are you putting him down? Why are you talking a little bit negative about Yehuda the tailor? He just wanted to express himself. Listen, what do you expect for Yehuda the tailor? He wrote the get. So you're asking a question, why is the get not written? It's so great. What do you expect? It's written like Yehuda the tailor. What do you expect more from Yehuda the tailor? So Rabbi Yehuda said, what do you mean? You might be right. That's true. Yehuda the tailor, but it sounds like a little bit that, what do you expect from Yehuda the tailor? That is your lashon hara. That is talking in a negative way about somebody. So you can imagine Rav Shimon didn't say anything wrong. Rav Shimon said exactly what was true. Yehuda the tailor doesn't know how to write again. But it's said in a derogatory, if could be expressed that it was said in a derogatory way about Yehuda the tailor. That's something we always expect. What do you expect from that person? He's honorary. What do you expect from him? That already is a what's called a klach. It's called a little bit. Klach, keep away from even lashon hara. The same applies to for many similar things that occurs frequently. There too, one will find that he does not resist his impulse, his evil impulse, as he ought to. Even a category of turn away from him. And we see that we say things. We say things slightly. We say things easily. And we don't realize that we're saying things that are not correct. And we're saying things in the concept of lashon hara. We take it as the Alter Rebbe is saying in a minute. We take these things and we like step on it. We say it's not important. No, it's not so important what I say, how I say it. It's just not important. This especially to regard to sanctifying oneself by refraining from indulgence in permitted matters. Now, refraining from indulgence, we're not talking about an Aveda. We're not talking about sin, indulgence. We learned already before. Our struggle. You see, if a Beinoni struggle, if he wants to be victorious, he's got to start in the things he's allowed to. If he's going to wait to have a war in the things that he's prohibited, that's when we lose our struggle. We need to start the struggle before. We need to start the struggle not in the sin, but in the prevention of sin. And we got to go to the problem. See, that's what we mentioned. We always are in the problem. We're always dealing with the sin. Let us deal before we go. And that's prevention medicine. Why wait to get sick to get a solution? Make sure you never get sick. And the way you make sure you never get sick, you make sure to be healthy. And how do you make sure to be healthy? Is to make sure the things that you're allowed to do, you don't do. Because those things you're allowed to do is going to bring you to the problem of sickness. So we all need to work for Beinoni for sure, for Middleman for sure, all needs to work on things that are allowed to do. So that's Kaddish Atzmim Mutolach. Now that is not, the Alter Rebbe says over here, that's not a thing that's like good advice. I'm giving you good advice. That's Midaraisa. The Torah itself tells you, the Gemara, the Torah says, the verse says, Kedoshim, when it comes soon to this verse in the book of Leviticus, Pashas Kedoshim, the verse says, Kedoshim to you shall be holy. What does that mean? What does it mean you should be holy? To do a mitzvah, you have every verse has its own place. Not to do a sin, it says every verse that tells you which sin you're not allowed to do. So what means you should be holy? And the answer is Kaddish Atzmim Mutolach. It means that not only should you're not allowed to do a sin, not only should you do every mitzvah, sanctify yourself in something that you're allowed to do. So you're allowed to eat kosher. You're allowed to eat. How do you bring kedusha? How do you bring holiness in things you're allowed to do? That's where is the most struggle. And that's where the struggle starts. Once we cannot sanctify ourselves in things that we're allowed to do, how do you expect to control yourself in things you're not allowed to do? And you might say, as it says, you shall sanctify yourself. Moreover, even according to the opinion, commandments is not biblical or original origin, yet rabbinical enactments. And the Gemara says that rabbinical enactments are even stricter than biblical law. And one often finds himself succumbing to the self-indulgence, and the temptation is strong and requires a battle to overcome. Why did the Chachamim, why did the sages make their law? For the same reason. The sages made laws, like let's say in Shabbos, laws of Muktzah, which is all rabbinical law, because they didn't want you to come to Chas v'Shalom, do the Torah law. And that's why the Gemara expressed itself, that Chamurim, that the truth is, the Chachamim, you should be more careful with Chachamim than the Torah, because you should be more careful with the prevention. We always are always afraid of the law, of the Avera. Really, we should be afraid of the prevention. We should never, ever come to do a sin in the Torah. If the Torah tells us not to do something, we should never, ever do it. If the Torah tells us to do something, we should always do it. But what's going to help us that? What's going to give us the strength or the certainty that we're going to do it, that we're going to follow the sages? So whatever the sages told us to do, they didn't tell us, they didn't want to add to anything. Like, for example, let's say a woman, Friday night, the Chachamim added 18 minutes, right, to light the candles. Really, you can light the candles 18 minutes later. The Chachamim said, let's do it 18 minutes before. Let's light the candles 18 minutes before night. What do you think they did that for? Oh, to make sure that your Shabbos is not long enough. We're gonna add 18 minutes to the Shabbos. So it'll make you longer Shabbos or make you more prohibitions. No, the Chachamim want to make sure Chas v'Sholem, you shouldn't do the Shabbos. You shouldn't break the Shabbos. So therefore they added the 18 minutes. And we should be careful in those 18 minutes. If we play around with those 18 minutes, if a woman's gonna play around with those 18 minutes, she'll Chas v'Sholem come and light the candle on Shabbos. Therefore, be very careful with the 18 minutes. Make sure you light the candles not only 18 minutes before, but even add. Be extremely careful and add the Shabbos. Start 10 minutes before the 18 minutes. Don't wait for the 18 minutes. Add before. Because you should realize the Chachamim, what the sages came for you and added those 18 minutes was a great thing for us. That Chas v'Sholem, we shouldn't light the candle after the 18 minutes. But what happens? The problem is that all these things, and like these things, are the sins which people we trample with it on our foot. It's not important. That's the rabbis. Okay, we can with the rabbis. Okay, we're not to follow the rabbis. We're not to be so. That's a big mistake. So too, those things, those buffer zones, which the rabbis gave us, or those buffer zones that we do ourselves. Those buffer zones are important to us. Those preventive actions that we do, and we create boundaries around things. When we realize that we realize that we have a intuition, or we have a easy to do the sin, to talk lashon hara, it's very easy for us. We should create this buffer zone. Every person should create a buffer zone. And that's the war. The war is in the buffer zone. The war is in the Kaddish Atzam Mutalach. Because if he's not going to create this buffer zone, then if, let's say, for example, it's easy for him to talk negative. So he's going to for now make a decision. Whenever a person comes to him, he's not going to talk. He's going to walk away. He's going to control that. Even things that he's allowed to talk about. He's going to try to make sure to fight his urge, to have this talk, which is not needed. That's Kaddish Atzim B'Tulach. You don't need to do it. And that creates within ourselves the capability to have prevention issues, not to deal with the sin itself, but the dealing with preventive situations. And therefore, you can take this concept in everything in life. If we have, for example, a more disposition for anger, how do we make sure that we don't even deal with the anger? And that's what the Rambam writes. You make sure to go 180% the other way, and in time for time. Teach yourself in a situation where maybe you have the right to get angry, not to get angry. We need to learn preventive medicine. We all need to learn how to do prevention, not to fight with the evil. Because then it might be too late. We need to start fighting with which is allowed, And the more we learn how to do preventive issues, the more it'll be easy for us never to even come to fight with the concept of evil. And this is important. It's important because we all, the concept of evil is a concept of an addiction. We all are addicted in essence. If we have the capacity of evil, then we are addicted to it. It's a concept of addiction. It's like any person who has addiction in this world. And but we're dealing with the addiction. We should deal with something we're not addicted so much to, learn how to control it, and then we're going to learn how to control our addiction. Gam nasikete, and ultimately, things that we diminish, that's not important, ultimately become something that's allowed. When I decide I'm allowed to indulge myself, that's why ultimately I'm going to indulge myself in something that is prohibited. If I know that even the things that I'm allowed to, I can control myself. Kaddish Atzma Mutla, I can control myself, even things that I am allowed. I can say no. As you learned before, I can eat it 10 minutes later. I can do things, enjoyment 10 minutes later. I'm not going to do it right now. So I learn how to control even my things that I'm allowed. I will learn how to control myself, even the things. Because you've done something. So therefore, you need to learn even things that you've done things over and over and over again. That is not per se something you need to do. And then, Shem, you'll be able to control yourself in things that you are not, chas v'shalom, you're not allowed to do. That completes the Tanya of the day. The truth is that completes the Chumash and the Tanya of the day. Today is the 20th day of the month, which is chapter 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103. So 99 to 103, and you would do the chitas of the day. I want to wish you all a wonderful, beautiful day. A happy day. We'll see you, Mitchell, tomorrow, 8 a.m., as we will continue the chitas of the day.